Central Bank of Argentina announced Thursday that the country will issue a new 2,000 peso bill, which would quadruple the face value of the highest banknote in terms of denominations, but remain only worth about $11 formerly, maybe $5 in widely used parallel markets. Now, Argentinians and visitors frequently carry heavy piles of cash to make payments, since the South American nation, is struggling with one of the highest levels of inflation rates in the world. Prices last to about 95%, maybe 100. Now, Argentina's currency has, of course, declined in value so much in recent years that even the most expensive bills may now be painted, according to a local artist, Sergio Guillermo Diaz. The highest denomination of Argentine currency, 1,000 peso bill, is worth approximately $5.60 officially, or just $3 in parallel markets, which are frequently utilized to avoid capital controls due to annual inflation that, as we just said, probably approached 100% last year. Now, here's what he says. He says, nowadays, and we're looking at some of his artwork, nowadays it makes sense for me to paint on the largest denominated bill here in Argentina. Once I paint on it, I can sell it for much more than what the bill is worth. That he has to be breaking some kind of laws. Joining us now to discuss further, Halimah Adediran, who is an analyst with Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Halimah, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Fascinating stuff here. We always love discussing monetary economics. What's the rationale for Argentina giving us a 2,000 peso bill? What are they thinking, Halimah?
Oh well, when we see a country trying to do a redenomination, it means it's an indicative of a high inflation rate.
Aha.
So there are two folds to it: either a higher denomination or the change of all the currency at a go. But what we'll see with Argentina is just a higher denomination, which they are trying to make possible so that the feature of money, which one is portability, and convenience. Since one, let's say for instance now, 1,000 peso cannot buy what it used to buy before, so you now need more money to buy that same product or same commodity. So in order for you to carry it conveniently and make the money more portable, so they are trying to look at a way to make it more convenient for consumers. Instead
of carrying the bags of cash.
Just like we'll see in Ghana, where they have a new cedi which equals a dollar before. But now we could say that a dollar is equal to 14 new cedi. So which means inflation is still biting deep in the economy.
When we look at the denominations in dollars of, I guess, the largest bank bills on select Central South American nations. So there's Mexico. Their largest bill is equals to $54. Peru, 52. Brazil, 40. Chile, 26. And you go down the line. Colombia, 21. Paraguay, 14. And there's Argentina down there. Does it make a difference, Halimah?
It doesn't make any difference. As I just said, money is what money can buy. So whether it is 5,000 peso bill or 10,000 peso bill, the value has not changed. So whether you change the face value or not, it has not changed the quality, the value of what the money can buy.
In fact, thanks for mentioning that, because the central bank is considering a 5,000 peso note. They're still going over it. Okay, Argentina and Brazil, as called, Brazil just got their new president not too long ago. They are considering, and they're really good pals, the two of them, they're considering a regional currency. What's the rationale behind that, as far as what they're thinking about?
To me, I think they're just trying to jump gun. Let's look back in time into the European Union. It took them like 15 years to have a common market. So for them to just jump to a common currency, I think it's kind of a joke. Firstly, there are criteria. Which one is a common how can I put it now? A common union, custom union, whereby you will be able to trade without any import or export duty. Then we'll have movement of people, whereby for instance, I can go to Ghana without any passport. So I will need a work permit to work when I get there. So there are those things, those are the conditions that must be met. Then we have a common market, whereby you trade, there are the markets must be integrated. So before we now have a common central bank, then we now move to a common currency. So it's a long journey. So I don't feel jumping into common currency is the first to get to that. Because what they're trying to do is to improve their trade connectivity.
Okay.
So, but that is not the first step. They are jumping gun. So let me put it that way.
Let's look at, this is very interesting here. I want to find out who benefits more here. If we look at imports and exports as a percentage of the nation's total, this is, okay, so this is Argentina's trade with Brazil. So 19, as of September 2022, 19% of Argentina's total trade was to imports from Brazil, 14.76 exports. Now, if we flip the coin and we take a look at Brazil, look at that, only 4% of their imports to Argentina. So who would be benefiting here if they were to, if they ignore everything you just said, all the economic parameters you put forward, and they went ahead, who's benefiting more?
When we look at the number, we could vividly see that Brazil is not doing more with Argentina in terms of trade. Then Argentina's trade to Brazil is like fourfold of what Brazil is doing with them presently. Though they are both struggling. Argentina is a struggling economy, while Brazil too is doing well in a very mild manner. So we can say they are both a thriving or struggling economy. So, but to that common currency issue, I think Argentina would benefit more because their volume of total trade compared to that of Brazil is higher. So I feel Argentina will.
So as far as the challenges of a regional currency, I mean, you've already laid it out. It's basically what the economic imbalances that would hamper it and not allow it to work. That's basically the gist of it.
Not only that, aside meeting the criteria, even if the criteria are met, and let's say the common currency floats, just like we have in the European Union, where the euro floated, there are still some things that has to be done. Because if, for instance, now, if we have a high inflation in, say, Argentina, it will filter into Brazil. Same thing if we have fiscal deficits in Argentina, and we have surplus in Brazil. That means they are going to, the question is, is it a marriage of convenience or a parasitic marriage? Or, so there are so many things to it. If unemployment is high in Brazil, that means unemployed people will have to move to Argentina or move to Brazil if it is the other way around. So that means the problem that Argentina has becomes the problem of Brazil and vice versa.
It reminds us of Greece when they had their economic issues and Germany was so strange. The artist, I want to talk about this artist. Is he breaking any laws? You can't just paint on, although this is very pretty. Where are those images of that? Look, this guy is pretty talented, but he's basically saying he can sell these currencies for more than. Look at this. I mean, Leo Messi just won the World Cup. What do you think? Is he breaking some laws? Because you can't do this in Nigeria. You will be arrested.
There's even a conversation going on concerning that. Because what this indicates is that painting is worth much than the currency. But you can still do that because the currency belongs to the central bank. It's just a fiduciary issue. So it's for you to trade, not to mutilate or to deface. So I won't go with this. And what we have in Nigeria is slightly different from what is happening or what they are trying to do in Argentina. Our own is redesigning and shortage of the new currency and shortage of the time, the notice, while what they want to do is redenomination. So it's a different thing entirely.
Thank you for clearing that up. Halimah Adediran, analyst with Financial Derivatives Company Limited. That's the message. Do not paint on your currency and don't deface it because you might go to jail. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
your time. All right.